If your husband had an affair, or you discovered pornography, escorts, or secret sexual behavior, and suddenly your brain feels completely broken. You can't concentrate, you can't sleep, your thoughts loop constantly. You forget things, you cry unexpectedly, you feel panic in your body, and sometimes you honestly wonder, am I losing my mind? I want to begin by telling you something extremely important. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is responding to trauma. And today I'm going to explain exactly what betrayal trauma does to your brain, why it feels so overwhelming, and what begins to help the brain to heal. Welcome to Restored Heart Coaching. My name is Karen, and I am a betrayal trauma coach, and I help women who recover after discovering sexual betrayal, whether that is affairs, pornography, prostitution, emotional or physical affairs, or secret sexual behaviors. Many of the women that I work with tell me something like this: I used to be strong. I used to be clear thinking. I used to trust myself. But after discovery, they feel like a completely different person. And what I want you to understand is that this change is not weakness, it's the brain's survival system activating after relational trauma. Because betrayal by the one person you trusted for safety is one of the most destabilizing experiences the human brain can endure. So, today we're going to talk about what happens neurologically after betrayal, why your body reacts so strongly, why intrusive thoughts happen, why triggers feel so uncontrollable, and what healing actually looks like. When people hear the word trauma, they think about things like war, car accidents, natural disasters. But neuroscience has shown that relational trauma can be equally powerful, especially when the trauma includes deception, secrecy, sexual betrayal, broken attachment bonds. Your brain has spent years believing this person is safe. This person protects me. This relationship is my emotional home. Then, when betrayal is discovered, your nervous system experiences something called attachment shock. It's that sudden realization that the person you trusted for safety is also the person who caused the harm. And the brain can't process those two realities easily. So it goes into survival mode. One of the brain's primary structures activated after betrayal trauma is called the amygdala. The amygdala is your brain's threat detection system. Its job is to scan the environment for danger. When you discover the betrayal, the amygdala receives a powerful message. It tells you your primary relationship is not safe. And then when that happens, the amygdala goes into high alert. That's why betrayed partners often experience hypervigilance, panic, sudden fear, emotional flooding, constantly scanning for more information. You might find yourself asking questions like, is he telling the truth now? Is there more I don't know? Who else knows? Was I the only one? This constant mental scanning is not you being obsessive. It's your amygdala trying to protect you from further harm. And then another brain structure that is affected is called the hippocampus, which processes memory. After betrayal discovery, many women describe something like this: I replay every conversation. I reanalyze every memory. I look for clues I missed. This is because the hippocampus is trying to construct the timeline of reality. Your brain is asking, what was true? What was false? Was my life a lie? This is why many betrayed partners experience pain shopping, such as looking at the phone records, reading old messages, checking social media, reviewing details of the affair. The brain is desperately trying to rebuild a coherent story because betrayal shatters the narrative that you believed about your relationship. And then betrayal trauma is not only psychological, it's physiological. When trauma occurs, the body releases stress hormones called cortisone and adrenaline. And these hormones prepare your body for fight or flee. But betrayal trauma is complicated. You can't fight that person. You can't leave the situation immediately. So the body remains in a chronic stress response. And this is why betrayed partners often experience insomnia or digestive issues, shaking or a racing heart, emotional numbness, or sudden crying spells. Many women tell me my body felt like I was constantly on edge. That's because your nervous system is trying to determine whether you are safe. And then triggers are another brain-based response. A trigger is when something reminds you or reminds your brain of the trauma. It might be a location, a song, a date, a phone notification or a phone notification sound, a hotel, a perfume smell. Suddenly the brain says danger is happening again, even when you logically know the event is over. And this is because trauma memories are stored differently than our normal memories. They're stored with emotional intensity and sensory information. So when a reminder appears, the brain activates the survival response. And this is why betrayed partners sometimes feel intense waves of emotion months, even years later. The hopeful news is that the brain is capable of healing. Neuroscience, neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, which simply means the brain can change and rebuild after trauma. So healing often involves several elements. It involves truth and transparency. The brain stabilizes when the uncertainty decreases. Emotional validation, feeling understood, calms the nervous system. And then somatic regulation, that breathing, grounding, body awareness helps signal safety. And then the fourth one would be safe relational repair. That's when trust is rebuilt slowly and consistently. Faith and spiritual grounding. For many women, reconnecting with God becomes an anchor during recovery. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means your brain finally learns, I am safe again. Many women ask me a deeply spiritual question. If God designed marriage for safety, why does betrayal hurt so much? And part of the answer to that is that God designed attachment to be powerful. So when that covenant trust is broken, the wound reaches deeply in the heart and nervous system. But scripture reminds us that God is near to the brokenhearted. Healing is not only neurological, it's also spiritual restoration. If you are walking through betrayal trauma today, or you're still stuck in trauma, please hear this. That chaos in your mind, the panic in your body, the constant thoughts, none of that means you were weak. It means your brain has experienced relational trauma, and healing is possible. If you would like deeper support, I offer a healing program called Brave Warriors, where women walk through structured healing together. You can find more information in the description below. And if this video helped you to understand your experience, please subscribe to this channel, because my goal here at Restored Heart Coaching is to help as many women as possible recover their strength, clarity, and restore their hearts. Thanks for joining me today.